Well, welcome back, everyone, to the FACEIT Challenger Invitational, sponsored by Overwolf, G2A, and Alienware. I'm Richard Cam. Alongside me is DignitasStress Leary, and we are here back for the second game of this best of 3 in the second semi-finals of Ninjas in Pyjamas and GAMERS2.
I'm going to corpse. Yeah, we are about to head into game. That was a very pretty destructive performance, is what I'm saying. Man, I have lost all sense of composure here as we head into game 2. Yeah, NIP looking like the NIP that we've come to expect. To be honest, they didn't really miss a beat in that game. They dropped a couple of kills here and there. It's somewhat to be expected when you're playing against a composition that is, has a lot of damage. Nidalee, Fizz, Rengar, they're going to pick up kills regardless. But NIP's composition just overall was so much better. They had Maokai, which let them set up alongside the charm from Ahri. A lot of crowd control out of that. Ku was on his Lee Sin, very comfortable. Freeze had Tristana. It's the type of champion he likes to play. And they just had everything they wanted. And never really let it go from that moment that they stepped into that 2v2 early into the lane. Because of the lane swap, GAMERS2 are on the back foot.
Yeah, absolutely. They just went for the juggler. They went for that juggler.
Oh dear.
That damn juggler. They went for the jugular and never let go of that game. Okay, what are they going to bring to this next champion select? So we've seen some of the bans from last time. Morgana actually going to be the first ban out this time, coming out from Ninjas in Pyjamas.
Yeah, and I think, did we see them ban it last time? I'm trying to remember, because it was Thresh Leona we had in the picks. I have a feeling it was banned out last time. I may be mistaken on that, but Rengar.
What was not banned out last time was Rengar, because he was picked.
The fact they're banning Rengar kind of tells me that they are looking to pick up Lee Sin in their first rotation rather than get Ku rather than ban it away from Ku. They may also ban it, in which case they're very afraid of Ku out of the jungle, but I don't expect them to put 2 jungle bans down.
Yeah, so the next ban out will be a Mumu. That's very interesting. We have seen some Mumu play, and by some I mean like 1 or 2 games.
Was it actually GAMERS2?
I want to say no.
No, it wasn't. It was SK Prime.
Yeah, it was.
Because they ran Nidalee on Haydal as well.
Yeah. And they ran the Nidalee on the bot lane with the Zyra. Yeah, I remember. So that wasn't actually them. Gragas will be the next ban out. Makes a little more sense. It might be a throwaway ban though. We'll leave a lot of strong picks open, so we can pick 1, you'll pick 2, then we'll pick another 2. My
problem with that is there are some kind of mid-tier champions that you could look to ban away in that situation. Like, you could look at a Twisted Fate. You could look at, another mid-lane champion that... there are plenty of options for mid-lane, as we can see a couple of them now not available. Yeah.
Okay, so Kassadin, of course, is going to be the last pick. Okay, leaving the Lucian open, so they're going to first pick that one. That'll be coming in from Ninjas in Pyjamas.
And NIP are the team that we have seen put Lucian into the mid lane. I've said it a couple of times. I'll say it again. It's a possibility. Got to keep on track of that. They played it against Unicorns of Love in the game that Unicorns of Love played Cassiopeia in the Black Monster Cup. So it is a possibility, although I'm probably expecting it right now to see it in the AD carry position. It depends what they want to give to Freeze, what's available on this next rotation, because if Kog'Maw is available, or Tristana, he may just look to pick one of those.
Yeah, there's some ambiguity around that pick. It could go in the AD carry role or indeed the mid lane role, so they can just throw it anywhere depending on how the next couple picks go. So the Hover over Mundo is all that GAMERS2 have currently. That's all they're giving away, and they haven't picked anything else up yet.
I said Tristana. Tristana's banned.
Tristana is indeed banned.
Yeah,
banned out by Ninjas in Pyjamas. Again, not a ban you see every day, but they were looking for something specific out of the bag. Ooh, hello.
Ooh, okay. There was a last-second change, and I thought they had run out of time.
It's going to be Nidalee, so again, we could see that in the top lane. More than likely, there's a very good chance.
Yep.
And Nakorki as well will be going onto the AD carry of Yuki. So we have seen this before. It's just a strong AD carry pick.
Yep. Pretty good. Mixed damage, good range. Braum was available. Ooh, and there we go. Once again.
Okay, so they had the Ahri last game. They're going to be throwing it onto Alex Edge once again. Now they have the Braum. So, well, if it is going to be Braum in the bot lane, there's a good chance it's going to be Lucian there, especially with the Ahri pickup.
Yeah, especially now with the Ahri. And to be honest, Voidal's Braum has been on point Pretty much every time we've seen him play Braum, he's completely dominated. Ever since Braum was released, I think DreamHack was the first tournament, and that was when the tweets were flying out about why are people giving Voidal Braum.
Yeah, it was 4 games in a row. He got Braum game after game after game, and he won every game.
Yep, indeed, and ended up winning DreamHack as well.
Yeah,
so
indeed.
Looking to replicate that to get themselves a grand final spot.
Okay, so Syndra now locked in by Ocelot, and followed by the Fresh. So now we have the bot lane secured now, so just looking for a jungler, and that will be their next 2 picks.
I kind of expect Ku to pick up Lee Sin and then Elise, depending on whether Ku wants to play something a little bit different. That typically is where we sit. Maybe Morden will want something like a Jarvan just to kind of maybe supplement a little bit more of the crowd control than Elise would bring. Who knows? It's really up to what Ku picks here. But set up with a lot of damage there. That's a lot of burst that's going to come out from Syndra around that level 6 into the mid game. They're looking at a single catch, and pretty much it's a bit more of a skirmish composition here out of GAMERS2. They're looking for that single pick, take somebody out, get a turret from it, and pull back.
Yeah, and, well, you mentioned the Elise, and it definitely... Okay. Well, there we go. There we have the Elise. The Lee Sin was available, but opted towards the Elise pickup, so we'll have the Cocoons able to pick off targets. Also got the root from Maokai. The Twisting Advance will be able to get into fights, so presumably that's going to be top lane. It's going to be played by Cabochard, and that'll be 2 games in a row, so it definitely has been like, well, Maokai's a really strong pick. I got beaten by it when I was playing Aatrox. He's now my go-to. Again,
Gragas is banned away, and a tank champion is not JWoww style. He pretty much detests tank champions. I think the tankiest champion I've ever seen him really run is like Shyvana or Shen. And that's only because Shen has map presence elsewhere without using teleport. So he can win lane with like an ignite or something like that. Something, it's a very long time ago for JWoww, but he really just does not like running tanks.
No, he does not. And last game, he really didn't have an impact on it. We saw the Maokai come out, and every time he went to like split push or anything, there was always a Cabochard in his face with the Maokai. Locking in place, didn't die, didn't kill him, but it didn't matter because he had no effect on the game.
Are they trolling us again? No.
Okay, that's been locked in, so that must be in the jungle. There's no other champions who could be thrown in there. It's going to be Morden on the Riven, and the only other player we've seen bring this pick out is Shook, of course, from the LCS. So Morden trying to replicate Shook's success in the LCS. He's done very well with that champion.
So this is an all-or-nothing composition out of GAMERS2. It either gets ahead with Riven and Syndra, or they lose the game. There's nobody is going to be tanky. I mean, yes, Nidalee and Thresh will end up a little bit naturally tanky, but there's nobody that is, a full-on initiator that is able to go in. You look at a Maokai, you look at somebody like Elise, a couple of items into a build, is able to take a lot of damage. That's not the case on GAMERS2. Their objective is take out one person and take apart NIP piece by piece. And it's a difficult composition to run, but it is a little bit more GAMERS2 style.
Yeah, they're definitely saying we're all in, and that's what they've done in this game.
If there's one time to go all in,
it's right now.
It's now, because you've only got this game to stay in the tournament.
They're 1 game down in the semi-finals, and if they lose this game, they're out. And then we will have Ninjas and Pyjamas going up against Reason for the grand finals. So if they're going to pull an upset, it's got to be in this game, and then they've got to win 2 games on the bounce. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be an uphill struggle, but GAMERS2, it's possible. They can do it. They picked up a composition which they get ahead early, then it's a possibility for them.
The problem I think GAMERS2 are going to have is the fact that NIP's composition is somewhat similar to last time, but has a little bit of an adjusted time scale on their composition. Tristana, typically you have to wait till a little bit later to close the game out. Doesn't have the greatest mid-game phase without kills. Lucian, on the other hand, is king of now the early and mid-game fights. That extra cooldown also has helped his late game. So it's difficult for them to kind of get a situation where NIP don't replicate the last game with their composition.
Yeah, it seems like GAMERS2 have very small windows of opportunity where they can actually come into the game, and they're going to have to find those, capitalize on them. And if they don't, then it's game over. It's GG. So they have the possibilities, and they have the composition that can do it. So what are they looking for in the early game? Last time we saw a lane swap-up come out.
Yeah.
Will we be seeing that again? We've got the Lucian, we've got the Braum, and then a Corki and a Fresh. So would either of these lanes want to swap up, or are we just going to see standard run-of-the-mill lanes?
See, now, that's an interesting question, because I wasn't sure 100% whether they were trying to dodge the bottom lane matchup or trying to protect Nidalee a little bit by moving around in the lane swap. It's interesting. I'm not exactly seeing it this time. It didn't work out so well last time in GAMERS2's favor, so maybe they'll try and predict a lane swap and maybe kind of backfire. It's a bit of a tough question because right now lane swapping is so infrequent that you can't just bank on the team lane swapping. You used to be able to just roll the dice and go, hey, look, they lane swapped.
We got it. Yeah,
no, it doesn't happen so much anymore.
Yeah, of course. The changes to the towers, they ramp up faster. 2 shots now, and it's 75% extra damage, which is actually a lot of damage when it comes from the towers early game. Moved from 1,200 range to 1,400 range on the experience range for the minions. So
and the importance of dragons now, extra gold. So
in the early game.
You know, it's a lot more focus on that dragon side for the 2v2 matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. So possibility of a lane swap up, but it's not locked in. It's definitely not there. So
one lane to watch out for around level 6 is that middle lane. If Alex hits his charm, he should 100 to 0 maybe, or at least do like critical damage to force Syndra out of lane. On the other side, if he doesn't land the charm, Syndra is going to kill him.
Yeah.
So it's all about that charm in the middle lane, or the stun.
Or the scatter the weak,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Both are kind of the same thing. I would argue that the charm is maybe a little harder to hit if you're sitting in minions, just because it only charms one target. Scatter the weak will go through a few.
Yeah, so maybe slightly easier when we hit the level 6 sort of mark for these mid laners. Of course, jungler intervention is always that extra factor that you can't always keep your eye on. So Ku and Morden will definitely be some determining factors as to what will upset some of these lanes. But this is GAMERS2. They're 1 game down. This is all or nothing for these guys. Ninjas in Pyjamas. They're 1 win away from heading into the grand finals, and we are onto the Rift, and we are onto a pause. GAMERS2, of course. Anyone going to disconnect?
Not yet. Interesting.
Okay.
I love how we're in a meta game of like knowing who's going to disconnect.
Standard.
Ah, dear. There we go.
Oh, okay.
Resume. Okay,
Fantastic.
It was only a short one. So, we are on to the Rift.
We are indeed. GAMERS2. On the upper side of the map this time around, Ninjas in Pyjamas will be sporting the blue colours. They're on the blue team. And they are once again fanning out. Will GAMERS2 go for any early aggression? Well, we've already spotted out they have a very all-in team, so an early play would be a definite possibility for these guys.
Yeah, definite possibility. I like those. For 100%, they may do something.
100%, 60% of the time. FACEIT in the mid lane. Will he start dancing? No.
No. Disappointing. Nobody was there to see him dance.
That's true.
He's in a girl band. You've got to have the ticket price. You can't. It's like they're playing in stadiums. You can't just get in.
That's true, but sometimes someone will just dance in their bedroom. They don't want anyone else to see.
Are you saying that Alex is dancing in his bedroom between games?
I don't know. Are you implying that's for us?
Nope.
Nope. Rydell. New challenger has approached the mid lane.
You're not a mid laner.
Get back to your lane.
He just wants to dance, man.
He does. He just wants to join in.
That's all it is. But early wards, and again, on current patch, we are on live. Not seeing a lot of invades. Sometimes you'll see that, on the moment of spawning invade. We saw it in the last game. Buff trades didn't work out too well in the end of it for GAMERS2. But, it's not so likely in this game.
Ninjas in Pyjamas went for that very early aggressive play where they went in with 3 members. They went for the lane swap, but they picked up the blue buff, and they had Maokai actually do the blue buff by himself on the other side, because Maokai actually has, of course, he came from the jungle, so he'll have a decent clear when it comes to that. So he was able to pick that one up. Not going to be the case this time. That was a very early advantage that Ninjas in Pyjamas snowballed into a victory. This time around, GAMERS2 will be opening up on even footing. Modern will be taking a lot of damage from that blue buff. But the Riven jungle now coming into this one.
Well, that's one of the things is with Riven, until you get your dash, which gives you the shield. You take a little bit of damage. You don't get that survivability early on. And to be honest, you don't really want to build too tanky. You want to be just tanky enough to get through the jungle without being at a point where you lose a 1v1. But you want to maximize your damage because that's what you need in the early game to get yourself going.
It is indeed. So, both the jungles heading through their jungles and will be starting on opposite sides of the map. So, we'll be going to the red buff second. JWoww taking a lot of damage from Cabbage, so he in return. Arcane Smash comes out. One more auto attack. The flash forwards from both of these players will take him out of range. Javelin Toss lands onto the backside of Cabbage. Another Arcane Smash. Both of the players flashing up red.
Cabachard's going to play this very risky here because he knows, I believe the heal is on the next ability. Yeah, just trying to check. So he may look to bait JWoww out, but JWoww's having none of it.
Yeah, he was waiting for the level 3, no doubt, for the Twisted Advance.
Yeah.
And that will be JWoww heading back to base. He does, of course, have the teleport, so he will be going back. Maokai maybe picking up the small CS advantage before going back to base himself. Both the top laners with the teleports. So, mid lane, FACEIT will be just facing off against Ocelot. So, two mid laners which in an instant could 100-0 the opponent at level 6 when you have that full burst. We haven't seen any interaction from the junglers either just yet.
Yeah, which isn't worrying out of Morden yet, but he needs to soon. He can't really sit around in his jungle all day farming. Yes, of course he'll get gold and items from it, but Riven is a champion that you really do need to get things going early on, whereas Elise far more consistent throughout the game. That's why she is a standard pick. Wow.
Whoa, that hook coming in onto Freeze. Wall Dragon back with the flay as well. Rydell connects everything. That was a miracle hook there.
Yeah, he hit like one. He hit one of those like that in game 1 as well, if you remember.
Yeah.
Straight through the minions. And good ward means that when Q looks to advance here, he is not going to be able to. And you can see now that that ward is down, Morden was coming across to the lane, chose not to commit.
Yeah, Q just comes forwards. We'll be clearing it out. And actually, Cabachar just jumps in, gets the Twisted Advance. The Javelin Toss lands onto a minion. JWoww goes back to his turret cocoon, sidestepped by JWoww as well. However, Morden is in the top jungle vicinity around that top outer turret. Now sitting in the bush, waiting in the wings. The Volatile Spiraling will connect. Morden only level 3 compared to Ku and Cabachar's level 4. Very, very squishy at this stage. However, they are now split, and they are underneath the turret. Now chasing away Nidalee from the tower. The flash forwards. The Cocoon does not connect. Morden jumps in, lands the last part of Broken Wings. JWoww taking so much damage. Ku will be dropping, will be coming up with the repel. Now trying to kite away from Morden. Broken Wings, and he also attack. The Runic Blade will amplify the auto attack damage, and Morden picks up the kill. Now chasing after Cabachard, so a 1-for-1.
Yeah, Cabachard low on mana, but Morden may be looking for it.
Well, Cabachard punched him, landed the Arcane Smash. Morden playing with fire though.
Yeah, I think Morden may have wanted to just harass down, but then as soon as that auto attack went out and got the heal from the passive from Maokai, he was like, oh, okay, I'm going to come off second in this.
Yeah, let's not do that. Voidal in the bot lane lands a Winter's Bite onto Rydell. Doesn't follow up. Alex is taking a lot of damage from Ocelot. Connects the
he's about to hit 6.
Dark Spheres. He is about to hit 6 any second now.
You may see a Flash Ignite Unleashed Power.
Does he have the mana for all of that?
Probably. Flash Ignite, he does, but here's Ku.
Ku comes in, and that's all. That Elise Power will be dropping him. Ku, can he get the last Venomous Bite? Last auto attack, Neurotoxin, and we'll get the 1-for-1 and the assist.
Yeah, Ocelot knew what was up there. Not too sure about that flash in the end. He was kind of already dead, but got the kill for himself. Did use both summoners, and Alex each actually held his flash in that engagement as well. So that's something that's important to watch out for when we return to lane.
Yeah, so Ocelot, of course, burned everything, and both of the ultimates were also used. So everything is still even, back and forth, blow for blow. Both these teams have traded kills. Cabachard is feeling the pinch of a ranged champion in the top lane, but we saw this last game, and it's fairly unlikely anything will change in this one when it comes to the top lane and how stale it gets.
Yeah, it's one of those things you forgo a little bit of farm just to have a lot better utility. Ooh. Dodges the cocoon. I was speaking to a lot of top laners that were saying that basically Maokai doesn't exactly have many bad matchups. The only one that really can give him a bit of trouble is Gragas. And, you know, we're seeing that here. Although he's down on farm, he got the kill from the jungler help, and this isn't where Maokai's presence is going to be felt. It's going to be later in the game. That is where Cabochard will end up showing his dominance.
JWoww lands a couple auto attacks, gets the hunted passive onto Cabochard, but doesn't proc it with his Cougar abilities. Bot lane, haven't seen all that much happen. Which is funny, because usually it's the bot lane which we see the most interactions in, but Freeze and Voidal, Yuki and Rydal quite content to farm it out. 5 CS ahead is Freeze, so minimal difference in the CS totals. And you can see 2 Darren's Blades picked up by those 2 bottom lanes. Mid lane Chalice a piece in the jungle. Ku's actually opted towards the Quill Coat, which is... there's 2 different ways to go along that route.
So this is the route that is going to make NIP incredibly difficult to kill. And like I was saying, if this composition from GAMERS2 doesn't get significantly far ahead, they don't have a tank, and the damage reduction that's going to come from Cabochard is obviously going to help Ku out as well. So the more damage he can survive through, the less chance GAMERS2 in the mid and late game fights are going to have to win this. And I have a feeling that NIP are going to be sticking around for quite a while in team fights.
GAMERS2, they really are on a mission to accelerate the pace of this game, but Ninjas and Pyjamas, they're just slowing the pace down, meaning that later and later this game gets, the harder and harder it gets for GAMERS2 to win, and they just need to choke them with life. You don't need to go balls to the wall aggression. Rydal lands the death sentence. There's the culling as well coming out from Freeze, but that was also the box coming out from Rydal. I'm not convinced even if that had connected that Voidal was going down in a hurry.
Yeah, I think he just maybe wanted to get another tower shot onto him.
Yeah.
But the stand behind me was a little bit too fast out as the animation finished to the box. So got himself away. Ooh, Alex looking for a charm.
And the charm landed as well into the cocoon, standing in place. Ocelot gets exploded, and he will be deleted off the map.
There you go. Assassin against, you know, a very heavy burst mage. If that disruption lands, if the charm lands. Ooh,
the flash forwards into cocoon onto Morden will also meet the same fate as his ally in the mid lane. Kill after kill, and Ninjas in Pyjamas in the lead early game is the opposite of what GAMERS2 need.
Yeah, that is almost the most disruptive thing that could happen for them. Riven is now not on the map. NIP could look perhaps to sneak a dragon. We've seen Elise do it before, although to be honest, probably isn't going to want to head back. Yeah, that is going to be what she's going to do, but it's a situation where Riven hasn't been able to get into this game properly, hasn't completed an item yet, and at 10 minutes we've seen Tabs have, you know, a plethora of items at this point just from getting early kills, and that's really what they need.
Some people have questioned whether Riven is a shock champion or whether it's something else. Ku comes forwards, lands another cocoon. That will be the Scatters of Weak, landing onto 2 members, and the Unleashed Power as well. Ku will be dropping. Alex Hitch, can he get in range? No, he cannot. So Ocelot gets away with it, goes for a 1-0 in that 2-in-1 situation.
The stun was crucial. If he hadn't have locked down Alex, Alex would have been able to chase in a little bit. Hadn't had that ultimate available and had used Flash earlier. But Ocelot gets a kill from that engagement, gets himself back in the game. He's now 2-2, and Syndra is always going to have potency.
Indeed, and the exact same thing can happen either way around. If Morden was the one to gank in that mid lane, then Ari would have been bursted, or so could Ku, as you saw in that last engage we had. So Morden farming out the jungle now, just counter jungling as best he can. So 4-3, so a slight advantage to Ninjas in Pyjamas. In terms of vision, how is Ninjas in Pyjamas doing? They have more on the board than GAMERS2, but again, it's minimal. Nothing to write home about.
Indeed. Now, tank attempt maybe out of Morden, but Cabochard's pretty tanky right now. Hasn't got that Rod of Ages finished yet. No extra armor, so maybe subject to a heavy burst damage here if he gets baited in. He's got to be careful.
Cabochard walking through this lane. This is precarious. Morden waiting in the wings. Cabochard going left and right, dodging those spears all day. Sapling comes down, says, for the twisted tree line, and slams into JWoww. Javelin toss connects, jumps forwards. Morden still waiting off to the side, waiting for Cabochard to fully commit to this one. Uses the vengeful Maelstrom. Another sapling comes through. Morden, patient hunter. He's been here for a long time, but now Cabochada's in kill range. Oh, and he comes around the side. Auto attack comes through. Morden uses his ultimate. Will they go for the dive? The flash forwards into the broken wings, and they will try and execute him. Morden is tanking one more tower shot. Valor will be enough to keep him alive. And the 1-for-0 comes out. Oh, Alex. It's cleanup time on aisle 3 in top lane. Picks up 1 kill. Morden dukes back into the next push. We'll get the key burst stun, but the last charge of Spirit Rush will secure the 2nd kill and the double kill onto FACEIT.
Dragon went down in favor of NIP though, so although there was a couple of kills in that top lane, that Dragon Gold is going to pretty much wipe that out. That doesn't exactly swing too much to GAMERS2. And of course, Alex evened that up anyway. So really nice set of plays there by NIP to pick up the Dragon, pick up a couple of kills after Cabochard. And to be honest, they knew that Morden was there. That's why Cabochard went out to try and ward down. Could have thrown a sapling, but you know he flashed out as soon as he saw Morden anyway.
So GAMERS2 simply getting outclassed in this matchup. And nothing has really gone their way. Apart from that 1-for-0 in the mid lane, everything has been tit for tat. And NIP always taking a little bit more with them. So in terms of items, where are we looking? Cabochard going along that very standard Rod of Ages. From what we've seen, that is the way to go for the top lane Maokai. Meanwhile, Nidalee heading towards the Trinity Force, as we've seen as well from JWoww.
Indeed. It's pretty standard overall, as you'd expect on Lucian as well, as the Bilgewater Cutlass and the Brutalizer. So building for that Blade of the Ruined King Ghost build that we've seen time and time again. However, it's the ward on the blue buff that is keying the next move in for NIP.
Spirit Rush comes forwards, does not get it. Another Spirit Rush, does not connect the charm either. So the ultimate used by FACEIT, but he knows it will be off cooldown fairly soon. It was worth the try.
Yeah, he was ever so close to getting it. It's the matter of 1 second. But wasn't meant to be.
No, it was not. And in the bot lane, still no real action has happened. Rydell poking away at Voidal, and Voidal poking away at Yuki. The cycle continues. We will farm, and you will farm.
Just back and forth. And the thing is, both of these champions have fairly similar potency throughout segments of the game. Just Lucian, I would argue, is probably the better of the two overall. Ooh, here goes Voidal.
Voidal jumps in, gets stand behind me onto that minion. Rydell is dropping very quickly. Ku comes in to secure that first one. Winter's Bite does not connect onto Yuki. So they get the 1-for-0 to pick up the kill and now move in for the kill onto the turret.
Oh man, that damage reduction from Unbreakable, you can see it on Gatling gun, just no damage done by Yuki during that engagement. And bottom turret, is Yuki staying?
Oh, he is indeed. And Ku will say, okay, I guess I'll just cocoon you and we will just kill you underneath the turret. Lands a concussive blows, double tap from freeze. Ku collects the kill.
Questionable decision to stay under the turret there. It's 3v1.
Yeah, absolutely. But in the jungle, FACEIT is going 3v1 himself, maybe coming out better. Gets one, takes Morden down to 30% HP, but we'll go for a 1-for-1 in the end.
NIP shouldn't stick around for this turret. Oh, Ku and freeze. This is over-aggressive.
This is risky. Morden is being zoned away by Voidal currently, but the longer the GAMERS2 wait, the more the tower will be chipped down. The Javelin Charge does not connect. Rydell is there as well. Can he follow up after the turret has fallen? Well, they're going to give it a good shot. Ku has been stunned by the Keybers, but now the teleport comes out from Cabochard, and Morden has already dropped. They will be looking to just run them down. Rydell teleports or flashes back to his turret. Freeze gets dragged in there, and they do try and get the execute. He's not dead just yet. Cocoon lands onto Yuki. And can they return with the chase? The answer is no. They get away with the turret and they get away with a kill.
GAMERS2 just didn't want to commit. They burned so much on killing FACEIT that actually Morden didn't have his ultimate available, couldn't have output more damage. So, in fact, it was the right decision for NIP to stick around for that turret. So much had been used, and JWoww was still on his way to the fight that they just took the turret down, and then teleport comes in from Cabochard, and they're able to just take it down.
The mental clarity right now from Niz and Pyjamas is pretty spectacular to watch. Even with us with a bird's eye view of literally all the vision on the map, we were like, they should probably back up. But they knew better than we did without all the knowledge we had. And came out ahead, picked the tower, 4 towers to 0. Very similar story to last game. And GAMERS2 floundering at the moment in this game.
They are, and to be honest, this is somewhat characteristic of the team. They, I mean, we've seen them, go big and win a tournament recently. And as we were talking, it's kind of happened in bursts again and again. They'll kind of win something and look amazingly strong. And they went 3-0 in their group, and they were looking strong. And now they go up against NIP.
And Freeze detonates Yuki. And, well, finished off the Wraith as well. Very smooth. Doesn't even bat an eyelid.
Honestly, that tends to be the story, is Freeze seems to be some sort of kryptonite for GAMERS2. Freeze does such a good job of protecting himself that these damage compositions just don't work against a team that is so good at protecting Freeze, and that is pretty much... It's not their only game plan, but typically that's what you see out of an NIP composition, and again, that's what we're seeing here. And it just really undoes GAMERS2's heavy damage composition.
And 17 minutes into the game, well, the inhibitor is not really where you expect to be sieged from. And 4 members are having to defend this turret right now. JWoww in the top lane. Cabachard firmly rooted in the top lane. They haven't really gone anywhere. And while everything is just back and forth, farming away, the rest of the team has just become... They've just broken apart. They've just fallen down. They've crumbled. The towers have turned to ruins. And he sat at the top lane being like, hey guys, I'm farming perfectly.
Yeah. So that's the second dragon that's going to go over to Ninjas in Pyjamas. GAMERS2 have just not really had anything. They've not had an objective all game.
And they haven't really proactively gone after them either. They've just allowed them to go to Ninjas in Pyjamas. They've taken a very lethargic approach to this game. Ku and Voidal move around the side. We do not need to connect any of their CC right now onto anyone from GAMERS2, as they're just being gradually pushed back, gradually chipped away at the turret. JWoww has been caught. The twisted advance into the Arcane Smash. The sapling as well will keep him in place. JWoww tries to get the execute before he falls himself. Jumps after, takes him with the takedown. And Alex Ich has enough damage with the Spirit Rush and Foxfires to go for a 1-for-1 with the assist.
JWoww defiant to the end there, making sure that he picked up the kill. But, that Trinity Force is really adding to Nidalee's damage. You could see how much it did to Maokai, but consider... Ooh, Alex is caught.
He is indeed more than out of the bush. Ocelot comes in, unleash power, drops him where he stands.
I was going to say, consider that Maokai really hasn't itemized against AD yet, so once he's got that second item under his belt, once he's got a Randuin's Omen at some point, he's really not going to die to that.
Indeed. So 7-12, and a very big gold differential. 7,000 gold at only 20 minutes. 4 towers. They've basically lost all resemblance of map control. That being from GAMERS2. Ocelot trying his best to clear out the minions, as will JWoww. But can they hold up against the pressure that's being exerted by Ninjas in Pyjamas onto their towers? That's the next question in this game.
Nice little playful trick there. Just putting down the ward in turret range. They knew it was going to get killed, but what it bought them was the time to clear the pink ward in the bush to the side.
Mind games.
Mind games. Ooh, Cocoon actually landed. That was a max range.
It was, onto Ocelot. The explosive spiraling, the volatile spiraling connects. Oh, but flashing out of the way of the death sentence from Rydal. So they did get a summoner for free. And in the top lane, JWoww says peace out. I'm going back to base.
Yeah, teleports actually to his inner turret. So the teleport is now not going to be available. And it looks like a push on mid lane, perhaps, out of GAMERS2, or are they just posturing? Looks like more of just a little bit of chest beating.
But do they want to do that? Do they want to push out of their base? Because Ninjas in Pyjamas, well, through this game and through every game we've seen them always come out on top because they've always been ahead, and the story hasn't changed in this game. GAMERS2 are being aggressive for the sake of being aggressive.
I mean, the thing to note is that Morden has picked up a couple of kills here, so he's now at 4 and 3. The wave clear is very good from MIP, however. They've got Lucian, they've got Ari. Ooh.
Oh,
he got stunned.
On to 3 people. To scatter the weak from Ocelot was fantastic. Cabachard also around the side.
Teleported in with those home guards.
Very fast tree. And that also affects the saplings, right? But Ku manages to get the cocoon onto Rydal. Every time I see CC connect, I just feel like someone's going to fall. Ku, that's not where you want to be recalling.
Yeah, Ku actually got hooked like through terrain there. It was the max range hook through the wall. Ooh, twisted advance.
Twisted advance onto Morden. The ventral maelstrom as well will get stunned up by Scatter the Weak. Unleash power not come out just yet. There it is. Pops 1, pops 2. 2-0. GAMERS2 come out ahead. They might convert this into a Baron.
Miscommunication there. Cabbage goes in. The team weren't even around him. Only Alex was there. And that is a bit of an uncharacteristic mistake here out of NIP, and they're looking to get caught.
Well, they botched that engage, and maybe they'll botch the second one. Looking for the flay to land on a couple people here, but only the support dies. Rydal gets eliminated, and now they think twice about the Baron.
Yeah, they've bought enough time, and ooh, Cocoon again. Who's been on point.
So many Cocoons landing, not being able to capitalize on them, however, but one day they'll be able to. Ocelot around the corner, lands Scatter Weak onto Ku. Now they head back to turret, but there is NIP between them and their turret at this stage. Voidal there, Freeze chipping away at the turret as well. Scatter the Weak lands onto Lucian.
Yeah, they're caught without ultimates, and a couple of key ones have just come up or are ready to come up soon. You look at the culling, you look at the Spirit Rush as well, and that is a lot of damage. However, Unleashed Power has just become available again for Ocelot. And this is NIP saying, we're ahead. No chance are you going to get a sneaky Baron. May look like a steal, perhaps.
Saying, come at us. And that's exactly what GAMERS2 are going to do. 2 wards over the wall. They're setting up for a potential steal and a potential fight. The NIP are fairly low. Morden comes into there. He gets the steal. He will be dropping for it. Will they go for the fight afterwards? Yuki is there. The rest of the team is there to commit. And they actually take Alex Hitch off to the side as well. So 1 for 1 and the Baron steal from GAMERS2.
Really nice steal, knowing that if he gets into the Baron pit, locks down the Ku. No smite chance available. And in fact, it looks like Ku's smite did go on cooldown, so maybe he smite a little bit early there, just as Morden was coming into the pit, so made it a little bit easier for Morden. They picked off Alex each, so that will kind of put a bit of a pause button now onto NIP. GAMERS2 have that bit of respite here. They have a couple of minutes to farm up, itemize themselves better, and look at the gold gap. It is now closed to just under, well, just over 3,000 gold here, so it's a good kind of last couple of minutes here for GAMERS2. So
that Baron will keep them afloat, at least for a couple more minutes. They were starting to capsize, but they've managed to steady the boat for a little while at least.
All the nautical analogies.
Just waiting for a Nautilus. I'm going to go to town on that. But Ku, Kalachard, Alex Hitch, and Voidal, the man himself, will be going on to Dragon. Take it out. So that's the 3rd Dragon of the game currently from Ninjas in Pyjamas. GAMERS2, however, still sitting pretty on their Baron buff. And as you mentioned, just slammed the pause button and have halted Ninjas in Pyjamas in their tracks.
I'd be interested to know whether they actually have halted them, because NIP is still very aggressive. It's one of those things I don't expect NIP exactly to siege too much, just to continually push out. Just to make it difficult for GAMERS2 actually to kind of sit around.
Yeah. So, I do believe they've slammed the brakes. So 4, 4, and 2. Morden picked up the Spirit of the Elder Lizard, got the Brutalizer. And despite how well they've been doing, fairly bare bones when it comes to their items compared to that of Ninjas in Pyjamas. They are still 5,000 gold ahead, so around 1 big item and a bit ahead of GAMERS2. That's being split amongst their team. And Blazes Ruin King, the Ghost Blade picked up from Lucian. That was a good steal away from GAMERS2 into the blue buff. Ku gets the Cocoon onto Rydal, follows it with the Neurotoxin into Venomous Bite. And a Dark Sphere from Ocelot will try and deter Ku away from this. Now setting up for a fight. Morden comes in, lands Broken Wings, keeps them in place. Colin comes across. Yuki will be tanking some of that. And Scatter the Weak comes through, lands onto Voidal. Fireworks from Yuki connect as well onto the backside of NIP as they retreat.
The Glacial Fissure didn't actually hit anybody there, which is a big cooldown now for Voidal. They have to wait that out before they can fight. This is a Baroned up GAMERS2. You can see how itching to engage Morden is here on his ribbon.
Yeah, they are more than just wanting to pull the trigger. He is, as you said, getting very itchy in this one. We've only really had a small scrap so far. No full-blown engagements, but GAMERS2, the first time they've been on the real aggressive slide in this game, pick up the first, or rather the second turret in the mid lane. Dash forwards, trying to clear out those wards. In the top lane, JWoww and Cabochard still there. They've been there for quite some time and actually have identical scorelines. Ooh, Koo, hello.
He doesn't know how close he was.
No, he didn't. So, Voidal, how are we looking in this game? 4,000 gold separates these two teams, GAMERS2 and NIP. Significantly less than it was over the last couple of minutes. And Morden should be dropping to Alex's last charge of the Spirit Rush. Misses the Q, doesn't matter, auto attack will be enough. And then he's got a nice juicy minion wave to follow it up.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, Alex just kind of knowing there. Riven shouldn't really win that 1v1 at any stage. Too mobile is Ari in that burst. Riven would prefer a bit more of a prolonged fight if they're going to a mobile kind of engage. So yeah, Ari just straight up lands the charm, disrupts Riven, no chance of it getting away. So pretty easy there. Teleport coming through onto that minion that's tanking.
On Cabochard, it's a very fast Maokai coming around the side, does not land the death sentence from Ryder in the mid lane. Ultimate comes through and Vengeful Maelstrom will be dropping eventually. Ryder flashes over the wall to get the last hit on Maokai. And a 1-for-0 so far for GAMERS2. And they are just going from strength to strength. That Baron buff has given them a new breath of life.
I'm not convinced with Cabochard's teleports in this game, I must admit.
Yeah.
They've been hit and miss. Teleporting onto a dying minion is fine on the turret, because obviously it gives you more time. But if you're not committing to the engage, what's the point?
Well, the saplings will move at the speed of light because they now scale from his movement speed. So he'll come in with the home guard, throws out a sapling, and it just comes at you. Like, ah!
Oh, man.
The sapling's like screaming away, and it's like a war cry.
I want him to throw one, just where it doesn't hit anything.
Yeah. That's the tactic. It's not worked out. Has been quite funny, but...
Abyssal Scepter. Man, that is an item we do not normally see.
Yeah. In fact, usually you see the Maokais go for a tanky route after that, and it's like, armor items, magic resist items.
Well, it will give him a little bit more tankiness with regards to the magic resist, and will reduce the magic resist of enemies in an aura around him. So it will kind of supplement the role that he is playing. But as you said, it's not the kind of Randuin's build that we typically see, and that means Cabochard doesn't have extra health, which means he's dying pretty quickly. Regardless of his damage reduction from his ultimate, when you don't have much health to, reduce from. Ooh, here we go.
Oh, here's the engage from Ninja and Pyjamas. They move on to Rydal. He will be dropping in an instant, and Ocelot looking to return the damage onto Voidal. Not going to be enough. That's the middle turret dropping, but turn your attention to bot lane because JWoww is just going to town on their base. Picked up the inhibitor turret, picked up another turret. Now moving on to the inhibitor. NIP are against the clock. Morden looks for the engage. Flashes towards, gets the keeper, slams into him with the wind slash, gets the kill. Now chasing after, they get one more. The minion wave is still there. They still have time to take down this middle turret, but still, JWoww is still pushing, and no one has even been able to stop him. It's the stalling game from GAMERS2.
Oh, GAMERS2 looking maybe to take control of this game. We'll keep a track of both sides of the action. It's Voidal and Alex that have actually gone back to stop.
They have, and it should be enough. JWoww is now just playing the cat and mouse game. Voidal keeps him in place. Alex Issue with the follow. However, JWoww is doing a lot of damage in return. Jumps in, looks for the execute. Will be flashing away from the swipe. And Voidal should have enough damage. That's the charm to the face, but Alex Issue was so close to going 6 feet under and biting the dust. That tower was so incredibly low. That was a very well-timed play from JWoww.
Baron is up. Koo is posturing for it. He wants to take this Baron out, but that is a risky call. Morden is back alive. Good. The recall is very smart there. I was going to say... Oh, what? No. Koo.
This is risky.
Koo, what are you doing?
Ryder was cutting in. There's the wards over the wall. And Morden is rapidly approaching the area. He does have the broken wings and the Valor to get in range even faster. Can he go for steal number 2? The Baron is dropping very quickly. The Lantern goes over the wall. Oh, he botches the last charge of broken wings. Morden Oh.
The most hyped anybody's ever got for Ribbon, the ZFQ not going over the wall. But, again, NIP, when they really shouldn't be able to take an objective, have gone and done it. Yeah. They've taken down a Baron, and that really shouldn't have gone to them.
That was more close than it should have been. But NIP do get the Baron. Morden probably kicking himself right now. Any other day he would have landed that jump over the wall. It's something that these players have down to a T, but man.
It's a difficult one to
It's
do.
hard, yeah. You have to be facing the right direction. It's like the old Nidalee pounce. And Morden, after that first blunder, goes for the second. JWoww has been hit up by the charm, takes a ton of damage to return on the true damage, but the rest of the team, the cavalry, has arrived. Shut down for Yuki. They go for a 1-for-1. Meanwhile, people are just getting blown up left and right. It's not a good day. You just walk into someone's rift, you just die.
This has been a very much more explosive game than the last. Now, they've got to be careful that JWoww doesn't just sneak through the bottom side of the map here. They've kind of got to just give this turret.
Oh, and Q also gets caught, but JWoww will be blocking up the damage. This is a 3 versus 4, however, they get the first kill onto JWoww. He was already critically injured from the last engagement. Rydell has been left to rot by his team. If concussive blows comes down, they should be able to finish it off, but it's just two beefy men hammering away at Rydell, and they actually just don't have the damage. He's just going to go on a merry goose chase. He's going to go onto that merry goose.
Oh, those merry gooses.
A merry goose for Christmas. And he's gone. He's out. He's made it.
The goose.
Oh, cover chart.
Oh, that was a late stun.
Oh.
An early stun, but... but he also, the minions prevented home.
Yeah. That was anticlimactic. I wanted to see the sapling go at the speed of light. This has been a very back and forth couple of minutes, Stress.
What's faster? A sapling with home guards or a merry goose?
Around equal speed, I would say. It's scientific. They can go at 10 Timos an hour. It's scientific. It's science. We did the math.
You can't argue with that.
You can't argue with measurements and Timos.
You can't argue with Alex either, because he has 9 kills to his name, 3 assists. Yes, he has 6 deaths, but the kills he is setting up and taking away from Morden again and again is allowing NIP to stay in this game. And they very smartly gave that top inhibitor turret because they knew the engage was on afterwards. So they just took out, with that Glacial Fissure once again available, they've got the Baron buff still for about a quarter left of the duration. Ooh, JWoww's hunting for a kill, maybe.
Oh.
Just to annoy
Stop
Ku.
recalling. And that's left him in a bit of an awkward situation because he can't stay in the Dragon Pit, but he can aggress onto Rydell. He lands the Cocoon. The rest of the CC will be landing a perfect E. Will land onto 3 players from Ocelot. The follow with the Glacial Fissure will keep Yuki in place. Will be Valkyrie away, but Freeze closing in from the left-hand side. Morden now is only 1 versus 3. Lands the Broken Wings onto 3 players, but will be crumbling under the pressure. That's a weak Cabachar dropping, but that was just a last breath coming in from GAMERS2. JWoww actually will be dropping in the background. And Ace, the 5-for-1. And Ninjas in Pyjamas should be running away with this game, ending this one in 35 minutes. The middle inhibitor falls, and no one is there to defend.
Oh,
Ninjas in Pyjamas, what a dominating performance.
And, well, GAMERS2 looked like they had it for a second, and actually, Voidal might die if he continues to tank, but this should all be in the books. It looked like GAMERS2 nearly had that. They very, very nearly took this game.
So close.
Man, don't trade with a Lucian at that point in the game. He's far too mobile, ended up getting kills, held Morden in place, and my goodness, it wasn't as easy as game 1, but NIP have booked their ticket to the grand finals.
Yeah, that was a lot more hard fought than the first game was. GAMERS2 so close, as you mentioned, to come back into that game, but the final team fight, when you get to that stage in the game, everyone's itemed up, then it just takes one big clean victory to solidify your win. So 2-0. We've actually had 2 2-0s today.
Yeah.
Heading into the grand finals. So both of these teams looking very, very strong indeed. Before we had Unicorns of Love drop 2 games to Reason Gaming. They find themselves in the grand finals from the first semi-finals, followed by GAMERS2 and Ninjas in Pyjamas, as we just saw, take down G2. So they'll be finding themselves in the grand finals.
They will indeed. The grand finals will also be a best of 3, and we'll be getting information on exactly when that's going to be starting fairly soon. I believe it is scheduled for 5:30 CET or CEST. Because we're on summertime now. So, yeah, that's the scheduled time. If that does indeed get updated, I'm sure we will pass that information along. But while we are in the gap between now and the grand finals, make sure you head over to FACEIT.com, sign up for the platform, get yourself playing some games of League of Legends. Even 1v1s are in there as well. So, you play against people of your own skill level. You get prizes for playing. That's a pretty cool thing. You get points for each game every time you win or play in one of the tournaments. You get points, you accrue them, you trade them in for prizes. It's a bit like a club card.
Yeah, it is.
Better conversion rate because you don't have to spend money.
Yeah, exactly. So, you mentioned there's 1v1s on there, and you play against opponents of your own skill level. So you could be bronze, but you could be the best bronze player there ever was, just like me. So if you can take down me, you will be getting yourself a ton of points on the FACEIT platform.
How's that? When we were back in January in Milan, we were talking, and you were like, "I'm going to win the car." How's the progress on winning the car?
It's not going well because I'm quite bad, but you
hey,
could be
look,
you could be the one.
People of your own skill level. So unless you're bad in your own skill level,
that's true.
That would be difficult.
The worst bronze player there ever was. This guy. Anyway, guys, we will be going to a break, but don't go anywhere because we will have the grand finals coming up of the FACEIT Challenger Invitational. We'll see you soon.